What's going on, everyone? TJ Fitness doing these reviews, and together with me, the much anticipated review of
Aggressive Labz Kreed Terror Edition
and Halloween edition pumpkin spice flavor. Listen, people. Guys, the reason this has been getting a lot of hype, I would say, around it on the YouTube and Instagram statosphere is obviously the crazy ass proprietary blend label here that claims DMHA plus DMAA. Listen, I'm going to take you through the label of this thing. I'm going to tell you what's in it, and I don't know exactly what's in it, but I'm going to tell you what's in theory in it and why you should give a shit. And then the really important part, I'm going to share with you my personal experience using this one over the last week or so. And then towards the end of the video, I'm going to give you my final, honest, unbiased freaking opinion. Let's get right into it. Okay guys, so Aggressive Labz, I reviewed Hell Knocks, I reviewed Leatherface, the first version, and I reviewed Cracked. All of them claim to have DMAA in them. I really liked Leatherface. I'm going to link to that review below, even though I'm actually working on Leatherface Phase 2 review, which is a different formula without the DMAA with DMHA. Then I reviewed Hell Knocks. I actually liked Hell Knocks, generally speaking. I'm going to link to it below. And Cracked was an okay pre-workout. Listen, people. Kreed is one of these pre-workouts that claims, just like Cracked, by the way, a combination of DMHA plus DMAA plus a bunch of other stuff. Now, quick disclaimer, people. All of these companies that claim to have DMAA in their formulas or just have crazy ass formulas, I told this several times on this here on the channel. One, none of these companies are companies that have GMP facility, which means good manufacturing procedures or process stuff. So you don't really know where this thing is manufactured. I talk with these guys, they're serious people. I mean, they know what they're doing, but I don't really know if there's DMAA here. I don't know exactly what's in this thing. I can't attest to their quality assurance procedures because no one can. Their factories are not GMP facilities. Anyway, but you take a lot of risks in your life. You eat Kentucky Fried Chicken and pizza, so you might as well take another risk if you want to. I'm just saying, listen, when you use stuff like that, you do it at your own peril. As far as what's in this thing, so Aggressive Labz, obviously, it's one of these edgy companies. They're living on the edge. They claim on the label DMAA and a couple of other stuff. They actually had a different version of Kreed coming out about a few months ago, which was limited edition. All of the Kreed editions are limited edition. This one, Pumpkin Spice, is a limited edition. Also, obviously, Halloween. Really like the way that this thing looks like. So listen guys, I'm gonna dive into the label, but listen, this is a proprietary blend, and I'm gonna also mention a couple of things that make this blend seem really funky as far as the order and ingredients. Listen, here's the highlights here, and this is really the case where labels are just labels. But you have caffeine, theoretically two different types of caffeine at 305 milligrams. So that's an okay amount of caffeine, it's not too crazy. But then when you come into this, so they have also DHEA, which is a precursor to growth hormone stuff. Listen, at 25 milligrams, I don't think it's going to do anything. I'm not sure exactly what it's doing in a pre-workout. I think it's a shock effect and another DH something that's going to confuse people. But you know what? I would just ignore it. Then as far as the pump formula, you have agmatine sulfate here. That's the pump ingredient here. Theoretically, they say it has 1.7 grams. That's a lot of agmatine sulfate. It's a good ingredient. I really like it. I like it though in the combination with citrulline malate, glycerol, something else. But anyway, that's what you have for pumps. Beta-alanine. Then you have a bunch of stuff. And I'm just going to go through the high-level ingredients. You have beta-alanine, which you should care about tingling. In theory, again, this is where it's really funky. It comes after the 1.7 grams of agmatine. So theoretically, you have less than 1.7 grams of beta-alanine in this thing. I'll share with you my personal experience. There's no way this is the case. Then you have choline. Then you have but here's what you're really interested in. You have oriogenesis, you have DMHA, you have DMAA, and then you have synephrine, and then you have NMT, and then you have GABA, and then you have yohimbine HCl at 1 milligram. So that's not alpha-yo, it's yohimbine HCl. Most of you guys should be okay. Listen, there's a bunch of other stuff here. It's a proprietary blend. I don't know exactly what's in it and the quantities, and I don't really know even if this thing is in this thing, because you really don't know around the quality assurance. That's why labels are just labels, people. And I know a lot of you guys see this thing. It looks really good. You look at the label, say, oh my God, DMHA, DMAA, right? Journalists, oh, whoa, whoa. Like, we had DMHA plus DMAA by far. By the way, my favorite DMHA plus DMAA pre-workout is Dark Energy. That shit feels fire. I reviewed that thing. A lot of you guys tried it. 99% of you guys loved it. I'm going to link to that review below. That shit makes you fly, right? Labels are just labels, people. Let's get into the actual experience. Let's start with the flavor. Pumpkin spice. I was actually a bit worried about pumpkin spice. It sounds like a funky flavor for a pre-workout. So it was okay. And you know, like here on the channel, we say we don't give a shit about flavor as long as it doesn't suck. For me, this flavor, and again, there's quality assurance issues, and I already heard from someone that tasted this flavor and wasn't happy with it. So I'm not sure about the consistency in the manufacturing, right? But for me, the flavor was okay. You're not going to be bothered. It's going to be okay. And that's it. I don't give a shit about flavor as long as it doesn't suck. This didn't suck. But who cares? This is a freaking pre-workout with DMHA, DMAA, Riogenesis, Yuhimbin, whatever. Let's get into the actual experience. So listen, people, as far as the experience. So I would say two things about Kreed by Aggressive Labz, Pumpkin Spice, Terror Edition, the one that I tried. First things first, this takes forever to kick in. And I'm talking kicking in as far as like feeling the buzz, the beta-alanine buzz, and feeling the caffeine and feeling the energy. This takes forever. And when I say forever, I've had pre-workouts here on the channel. Even this dark energy thing that I mentioned, I'm going to link to that below, like I said, that takes 20 minutes. This thing takes like 45 minutes, which is crazy. And consistently for me, 45 minutes to kick in. And then when it actually kicks in, people, labels are just labels, people. Labels are just labels. I barely felt this thing. Honestly, this has been a huge disappointment. Actually, from Aggressive Labz, I definitely felt cracked. I just didn't like the mood elevation element there. Leatherface is an amazing pre-workout. I'm going to link to that review below. Hellnox is a good pre-workout. It just tastes like shit. Tastes like ass, the original DMAA version. This one, I just didn't feel it. Guys, this felt to me less than some of the better traditional steam pre-workouts. I'm not talking about DMHA, DMAA, or stuff like that. This just, you get buzz after 45 freaking minutes. You get some energy kick, very little pumps, no mood elevation. The focus is mediocre at best. Honestly, I just didn't feel shit. Guys, listen, bottom line here, don't waste your money. I wouldn't buy this thing. I mean, if you want to get hard hitting, then try to find Leatherface, the original DMAA version. Again, like I said, I'm going to link to that below. And then also you can find price comparison for this thing and coupons and all this stuff for where you can find it. Leatherface hits hard, great focus, laser focus. You're freaking wired. If you want to feel DMHA plus DMAA, if you want to fly, mood elevation, dark energy, I'm going to link to that review below also. And where you can find it. This thing, Terror Edition, Pumpkin Spice, DMHA, DMAA, DHEA, Riogenesis, guys, super disappointing. Takes forever to kick, and when it kicks, it's a baby little kick. Listen, people. If this review was helpful in your unbiased, unsponsored, not giving a flying fuck review of the Kreed pre-workout, give it a thumbs up. And subscribe to the freaking channel because this is what we do here.